Yes, people, back again. It's your boy Showy from Showy Talks. Hope everyone's okay. And today, I just want to talk about, you know, the situation and everything that's occurring in the United Kingdom right now. From you've got the right wing out there protesting, you got the lefties, people fighting, grooming, people arguing about illegal immigration, you know, people arguing that they feeling hard done by. And I feel like in this country at this particular moment in time, I feel like there's um there's a lot of, I can explain it. There's a lot of segregation, and how I see is there's great people, and this and I'm not advocating for people who come here illegally, right? But I feel like a lot of these protests and things are made, both sides as well, right wing, left wing, are made evidently to segregate people, if I'm being honest, because I'm not gonna say my boy's name, but he knows who he is. He's a man of color, and when he's been to some of these protests now and tried to speak with the left side who are meant to be, sticking up for um, immigrants or people of color, when he's wanted to speak to them or interview them, they've rejected him, or they've told him they don't want to speak to him, even though all he's wanted to do is speak to them. Do you know what I mean? So my thing is this, right? If the lefties are who they say they are, and they're sticking up for people of color and want to integrate people of color, why would they reject him as a man of color? To me, that doesn't make sense, and you know it contradicts itself. You know what I mean? And then obviously you've got people to the right wing who you might have some who are actually want the best for the United Kingdom, but then I feel like some of them are also deep rooted, use this as their excuse to, you know, their excuse to be against people wanting to change their life and become a better version of themselves. Do you know what I mean? So I think you've got good people that come from both sides, but evidently I feel like the government's part to play as well, where all of this it turns into boiling pot. And right now, um, my question is this: are the children of the United Kingdom, is it safe to these days? Is it safe to grow your children in the United Kingdom anymore, or is it a situation where you'd rather grow your kids elsewhere or move elsewhere because of the fighting between different religions, the wars? I feel like a lot of the youth these days are also, not. I think a lot of them are unhinged, if I'm being honest. Knife crimes on the rise, you know. So you've got to ask yourself these days: would you want your child to to actually grow here? I mean, I haven't got no kids yet, but if I was to have some, would I want my children to grow here? That's the million dollar question. You see in all this hostility, you've got people constantly fighting up and down. You're seeing people heavily intoxicated, drinking and drink, drug substances all across the country. I see people doing vlogs and different, up and down the city, you know, where you see the pattern in a lot of places within the United Kingdom, that there's a lot of people that are messed up, and that doesn't mean, and that's not judging. At the end of the day, that's a fact. And is it could it be to people losing family members? Probably. Cost of living crisis, mental health, bills, it all evidently all plays a part, so you people who watch this, you let me know, do you feel like the United Kingdom is somewhere you would um where you'd want to grow your child? Is it how it was? Because at the end of the day, I'll always be on the fence. But with my grandparents now, they came as immigrants and they paved the way for me to be where I'm at. And they came here legally, might I add, and worked hard during the Windrush era. So to tarnish, so for people to tarnish immigrants all with the same brush, I also feel like that's unfair, because you've got a lot of immigrants that will come here and do the jobs that people who live here won't necessarily do, you know? But then you've got some immigrants that you could say that come here and probably sponge and don't, don't put anything in to society. You know what I mean? So, and then you've got people who will be born here and just sit on their backside and don't work or don't do anything, and just sit on benefits and do nothing with their life. But then they will complain that some immigrants who will come over and work hard are stealing their jobs, but there's no job to be stolen because they're not working anyway. So, there's a lot up for debate on both sides. So, you know what I mean? So that's just my take on everything I watch and everything I see on TV, online and stuff. And, you know, is my question, is Britain broken? And is it a place that you actually feel comfortable? Whoever you are, whether you live here, whether you've come here from overseas, I'm up for listening to, both opinions. If you're from the UK, how do you feel about living here? How has it changed in the past 10 or 15 years? Do you feel like it's somewhere that you can see yourself continuing to live here, or do you feel unsafe? And then, the people, you guys who have migrated here legally, might I add, you know, do you feel comfortable as a legal migrant, or do you feel uncomfortable and feel like you're always gotta, look over your shoulder because of all these protests that are going on? So it makes you feel uncomfortable and makes you feel like you're being watched and you're being judged, even though you're not doing anything. You just let me know. That's what's playing on my mind today. So you guys let me know. But make sure when you watch, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe, as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Over and out. Showy Talks.